on the way.
Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman band.
Greetings, my fellow Fry Fiends. Thanks so much for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. This is episode 28 of Reworking the Lot, a series I started back in August of 2021 that chronicled the production and the eventual release of the Salem's Lot remake, or the Salem's Lot 2024, which it eventually became. The movie was originally supposed to come out in 2022, got delayed for 2 years, and then dropped on Max and in theaters in Europe on October the 3rd and October the 11th, respectively. It's been a heck of a ride, and I don't know how many more of these I'm going to do now that the movie is out, but I thought it would be fun to do kind of my spoiler review. Not really more of a review, but more of just talking about the things that worked for me, the things that didn't work for me. I did get some backlash for my initial thoughts on the film that I did back in late September, because I got a screener of the film a week before it came out. So I did the last one of these that I did. I talked about, my thoughts on the film. I tried to really keep it vague in terms of I didn't want to ruin it for people, because I was releasing the video a week early from when people were going to be able to see it stateside. But as much as I got some good feedback, I got a lot of bad feedback. I did have to block a lot of really ugly comments, is all I'll say, and it did sort of put me kind of in a downer a little bit mentally a little bit for a couple of weeks. Going to Ferndale a few weeks ago really helped clear my head a little bit. Yeah, I still stand by what I said. I still really enjoy the film. I did find out more about the film in terms of things that were cut. I really hope that we're going to get a director's cut of the film now that it has been successful. I mean, I have seen a number of articles saying that it's doing really well on Max, that it is a very big performer on Max, and I think that's really great. Even if you weren't a fan of the film, I'm glad that people embraced it and watched it. I do think that there was a huge disservice done to writer and director Gary Dauberman, as well as everybody involved with the film, that being James Wan and the cast. I think it was a film that should have gone to theaters. I don't understand Warner Brothers' decision making as of late, and as you can see with the recent Joker film, they're not really making very good decisions. I'm going to break down my pros and my mixed. It was just sort of things that just didn't work as well as I wanted them, or they were just done in a way that I thought was too abrupt, and that could have a lot to do with the fact that this movie was condensed by an hour. And then I'm also going to showcase something that I got recently. This is something I ordered a while ago, and I had hoped to have it before my friends and I met up in Ferndale, that being Salem's Lot minority brothers Danny and Sam. I got them each one of these, so they know about them, so it's not going to be a huge surprise that I'm showcasing them here. But yeah, let's get into this. I've really been looking forward to doing this, and I know I've had a lot of people say, are you going to talk about, some spoilers regarding the film? And this is going to be no holds barred, so if you haven't seen the film, I'm going to ruin a lot of it for you. I hope everyone enjoys this, and here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about that I really loved about the film is the opening. I thought it was very effective, showcasing almost like this bloodline that's running across not only newspaper clippings and like the invoice for the Portland docks to pick up the crate and everything, but also the town map and how it's like this virus that's spreading. And the way that it culminates at the end is it showcases this image on the original release of the novel, which I loved. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Jordan Preston Carter as Mark Petrie is absolutely fantastic in the film. He is my favorite actor in the film. There was so much backlash against him, which was absolutely ridiculous, just because the race of the character was changed. But that actor was absolutely fantastic. Also equally amazing was Bill Camp as Matt Burke. I thought he was terrific in it. The scene between Matt Burke and Mike Ryerson in the Dell at the bar and everything, that's interaction between them as Mike Ryerson has been bitten already by Danny Glick and is slowly starting to change. Just the subtle ways that it was done, where you have the music from Donovan, the hurdy-gurdy man, playing, and like it slowly starts to get quieter and quieter and quieter. and you just see that he's slowly starting to change. That whole scene, and the way Bill Camp played Matt Burke in that scene, I love that scene so much. The kids in the woods, when you see Danny and Ralphie walking in the woods, it was all done like almost in silhouette, and I just thought it was brilliantly done. And Mark has given Ralphie the kazoo because it's sort of, Ralphie is afraid of the dark, and that's why the kids are heading home from Mark's house. And you hear Ralphie blowing the kazoo as they're walking, and then you just see the silhouette of Straker behind Ralphie, and he picks him up and brings him to the Marston house and offers him to Kurt Barlow, Mr. Barlow. And then the scene, you're from the perspective of Ralphie being in the sack that he's put him in, and you see Barlow coming down the stairs of the Marston house with this candelabra, and it's just really, really eerie. And then just the effects of that scene, and when you hear him feeding on Ralphie, the blood hitting Straker, and just really, really visceral. I have to say, I love the scene with Marjorie Glick in the morgue, played by Danielle Perry. And also, I want to say that it was an honor to actually interview Danielle Perry, the three of us, Salem's Lot Minority, and she was absolutely fantastic. And I love that scene with her in the film. I definitely recommend that interview that my friends and I did with Danielle, and I'll put a link down below to that. It's on my friend Danny's Everything 101 page. But she talked about filming that scene and everything, and I thought it was very, very effective and very well done. Nicholas Cravetti, who played Danny Glick, I thought was great. The scene with him outside of Mark Petrie's bedroom was, I thought, really well done. I thought everything about it just really worked. Danielle did say when we were interviewing her that a lot of it was done with wires and things like that, so it was not all CGI. Yeah, I thought that scene was very effective when he comes into Mark's room and Mark puts the cross on him and repels him out of the room. I thought that was great. I mean, it was really, really creepy, and I just like how, just the way that and you see it in a couple of scenes in the film when the vampires start to have their effects on their victims, their would-be victims. Their eyes kind of glaze over like they're being hypnotized. And yeah, just a terrific, terrific scene. Also have to give props to Alexander Ward, who not only played Kurt Barlow in this film, but also was a coach for all of the other actors because he is a known monster performer. He was there to sort of teach these actors how to sort of move and talk as a vampire. So he was there coaching them on the set, and Danielle talked about that in the interview that we did with her. But I thought he was terrific, while also paying homage to the late great Reggie Nalder and the amazing performance he had in that '79 miniseries. I really thought that Alexander was able to make it his own, and I thought he did a terrific job at it, because in this one we do hear Barlow speak a couple of times, which I thought was really interesting. And I just thought the way that he moved and everything, I thought he just really, really, he was eerie. He was very scary as that character, and sort of bringing that character to a new audience, paying homage while also doing something different with him. I thought the scene with Father Callahan and Mark and his parents in the Petrie kitchen, it was done differently than it was done in the '79 miniseries, but I thought it was equally effective. I love hearing Barlow speak for the first time when Father Callahan tries to back him off, and you have Mark running out of the house as both his parents are killed, and going into this treehouse, and you see the kids, the vampire kids, are like, he's trying to sort of close up the treehouse so they can't get in, and that effect of them like above, like on the top of the treehouse, on the side of the treehouse, was really, really scary. And I just thought it was terrific, especially just the way that it was shot, very moody, very atmospheric. When Ben, Susan's been bitten by Floyd Tibbetts, and he's trying to get her to Dr. Cody, who's at the church, because he's hoping that Dr. Cody can save her from fully turning into a vampire like Cody did on herself when she was bitten by Marjorie Glick. She was able to inject herself with a rabies shot and stop the process. But by the time Ben gets her to the church, it's too late. She's already fully changing, and she runs out of the church. Ben chases after her, and you've seen this in some of the trailer, but when he chases after her, you have all the vampires from the town that are just standing on top of the buildings and everything. And it was just a very, very effective scene. I thought really, really well executed. I also thought that the score was really well done. Of course, it's not Harry Sukman's score. Some of my favorite pieces from the score are the main theme. I thought that was very effective, really brings you into this world effectively, especially with the opening visuals. I also love the treehouse attack. That's probably my favorite of all of them. I also love the Find Barlow piece, as well as the drive-in. All of those are fantastic, but the score itself is really well done. Now, the moments of the film that I'm a little mixed on, or just have some negative moments on, there's a couple of things here that I did talk about in my overview of the film that I wasn't crazy about. One of them being William Sadler as Parkins Gillespie and John Benjamin Hickey as Father Callahan. For me, and it could have just been because the movie was condensed. It was originally supposed to be 3 hours, and it was condensed down to just under 2 hours. I just felt like both of them didn't really bring a lot to those characters. My other negative towards the film is that I just didn't feel like Straker was utilized enough. I know some people don't really care for Pilo Asbeek's depiction of Richard Straker, but I actually really liked him. I hated Donald Sutherland. May he rest in peace, but I just did not care for him as the character in the 2004 series, and I felt like Pilo did have some elements that reminded me of the late great James Mason, who played the character so brilliantly. But I thought for what he had, he was good, and he brought some of his own, little quirks that he's had in other performances that I've seen him in to the character. But I just felt like he wasn't really in the movie enough, and it was really disappointing when he's killed off by Mark, and that's pretty much it. And then Susan's mother becomes Barlow's servant, and I thought that was kind of abrupt. Even though you do see a scene prior to Matt Burke and Mark Petrie meeting up at the Marston house, where Straker and Mrs. Norton are dancing at the antique store. Also, speaking about the Marston house, I felt like the Marston house didn't really have a character in this. It was just this old house, and there was nothing eerie about it, aside from maybe the opening scene where they're delivering Barlow to the Marston house. But the fact that they cut the opening that involved young Ben Mears and Hughie Marston, who was played by Derek Mears, Jason Voorhees himself from the 2009 reboot, that whole thing was completely cut because of the test audiences saying that it sort of muddied the waters of, we have this vampire story, but you have this ghost story element, and people just didn't understand that, so they ended up cutting that whole opening off of the film, and I just felt like cutting that off made the Marston house feel less important than it has in all of the other adaptations of the story. And it also didn't really give Ben very much of a focus for what he's going to be writing about. Like, he even talks about the fact that he's like trying to find his voice, writing about something personal to him, whereas in the past he's always written about other people. And taking away that opening where he had that experience at the Marston house, I just felt like that was sort of a very big disservice to not only that location, which is so iconic. Like, it took some of the motivation for Ben Mears away. I just felt like that he just didn't have a focus, and that was something that was a little frustrating for me. I also thought, even though him and Mackenzie Lee had a great chemistry as Ben and Susan, there was never a moment where you felt like they were really dating. They were just almost like friends, it seemed like, even though there is a moment where she is in his room. So they're obviously, they are more than just friends, but you never see them embrace or kiss or anything like that. And I just thought that was kind of, again, it could have something to do with the fact that the movie was cut down so much from its original length. The other thing I felt like was it ended abruptly. There's the big showdown at the drive-in. All the vampires are in their car trunks, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. I loved that whole thing. It was very different. I know it was cut down. I think it was much longer from what I understand. And then also just the showdown with Barlow was very abrupt. Even though I thought it was effective, I wish it could have been a little bit longer. But then Ben and Mark just leave town. They don't destroy the Marston house. None of that is in this. And I just felt like Ben saying, "Oh yeah, all the vampires are dead now," it just seemed kind of naive to me. There had to have been more vampires than just what were at that drive-in. So that was like that. That was kind of, like I said, I felt like it just kind of ended really quickly, and I wish it could have gone on longer. But like I said, those are just some of like I said, these are just little nitpicks for me. I still enjoy the film quite a bit. Atmospherically, I think it's brilliant. Just the way the vampires looked in this, the music, and I really hope that because of the success that it's found on Max, even if there were people that didn't care for it, I really hope that we do get to see this 3-hour cut of the film. I think it's only fair because Gary Dauberman is a huge Stephen King fan, and even Danielle said that when she talked to us, that he's a huge Stephen King fan. So it's obvious that he really wanted to do something special here, but he had just too many, it seems like there was just too many people sort of trying to make this one way or another. I heard James Wan was more influenced by the 79 miniseries, whereas Dauberman wanted to do something that was more faithful to the book. Yes, not everything works, but at the end of the day, I'm very satisfied with this film for what it is, and hope that one day we get to see the full version, which I think would make a lot more people happier, because it is going to provide some of those elements that are missing from this condensed version of Gary Dauberman's vision. But last thing I want to do is showcase my book here. I did get a package. This is the thing I was talking about showcasing at the end here. This is from Mod Media Group. So I noticed this back at the beginning of the month. It was right before I was going to go to Ferndale, and I had hoped to get these before, because I wanted to give them to my friends, but unfortunately that didn't work out. And I don't know if they're going to be releasing this film on Blu-ray or DVD, but Mod Media Group has Salem's Lot available. I was happy to get this. I got one for my friends. I got one each for my friends Danny and Sam. This is just the movie, from my understanding, but I really want a physical copy of it, and I have no idea. I've heard rumors that they're going to put it out on DVD and Blu-ray, but I haven't seen anything concrete, so we'll have to just wait and see if that happens. I hope if they do release the full version of the film. This does have reversible artwork, so let me take the disc out. And you can kind of see there, right there. Actually, I'll lift it up so you guys can see it better. There's the reversible artwork right there. So I'm happy to have this. I don't know if they're going to be putting it out in any type of physical format, but this is what I wanted to showcase at the end of this video. So very happy to have this from my Salem's Lot collection. And I hope everyone enjoyed me breaking down the things about the film that worked for me, the things about the film that didn't work for me. Overall, I still say I really enjoyed it. Nothing will touch the 79 miniseries. That is my favorite movie of all time, and always will be. But if they were going to remake it, I feel like the people that were involved in this really had a lot of heart. It's just the studio that did them a disservice in terms of the release of the final product, and how it was sort of chopped up for the masses, and bad decisions were made about the things that were cut out. So again, that's my thoughts on it. I'm curious what everyone else thinks. Again, thank you so much everyone for the support. Also, thank you to everyone who has supported my GoFundMe. I'm at 38% of my overall goal. It's been really incredible how many people have reached out and supported it. Again, no obligation at all, but link is down below. Just had some hardships this year, and just all of the support really means a lot to me, and I want to thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will talk to you again real soon. Take it easy, stay scared as always, and remember, you can do nothing against the master. Peace. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy, stay scared as always.